All right, welcome to the Europe vlog. The Netherlands, Belgium, and France, and our first stop on the trip is Amsterdam. So this is actually our second day in Amsterdam. Yesterday we did like the walking tour and got kind of the vibe of the city. And with this being like my first city outside the US, this is like definitely like a big shocker. Like this one is very different from the US. They don't really care about the environment in that country. And I always did. I like studied environmental engineering when I was in college, and I realized I couldn't really make an impact. But like a city like this, which is like apparently the #1 most sustainable city in the world, you kind of see like what that could actually look like in real life. Like it is possible, so that's pretty cool. And then another thing that's super different is like their tolerance for like certain things. They were like telling us on the tour yesterday how they like turned a blind eye to like the weed and the mushrooms. We'll get back to that, by the way. And then there's like the red light district. I feel like that's such a unique way to look at things. For certain things, I feel like that is the right approach. Yeah, I like Amsterdam overall. I think it's pretty cool. It's like the bike capital of the world. We got a bunch of bikes riding around everywhere. There's like barely any cars. And I also think these houses are just super cool. And I think it's just a really unique look. That's like the character of Amsterdam, is like this style. We got to do a library review, of course. And we got the Bibliotheek, I don't know how you say it, of Amsterdam. So let's go check it out.
A public library is something that every place should have, but there are no set rules on how to create it. So each city gets to put their own spin on it. I really love how Amsterdam designed theirs. As a video editor, I spend lots of time in libraries when I'm on the road. A great library for me has lots of functional space for people to work. This one definitely checks that box. There were so many people in here getting work done. The architecture of a library is also a very important piece. It should be creative and inspiring. This library is the epitome of a beautifully constructed library. It was 7 stories of unique designs on each floor, and a ton of natural light, which is the best kind of lighting.
We're at the top floor, and this is the final view on the 8th floor. You can see the whole Amsterdam skyline. Time to give this one a rating. Obviously, it's S tier. The best one. It's the best library I've been to in my life so far. One of my favorite things in life is going for a walk when like nobody else is awake. And right now in Amsterdam, it's like 5:30 a.m. on a Monday, and the sun came up like super early, so I went for a walk. And this is one of the best walks of my life so far, to be honest. It's so quaint, so peaceful. Yeah, this one's up there.
One of the things I was most excited about on this trip was the trains. That sounds so nerdy, but I really love public transportation. I'm one of the rare Americans who doesn't have a car. I've relied on trains and buses for the past 5 years, and admittedly, it hasn't been a very good experience. I had always heard how Europeans travel everywhere by train. We did exactly that on this trip, and it was a much better experience than the trains in America. The rides were smooth and on time. Only one of our trains was delayed. The trains were clean, and the staff was very polite. It's clear that Europe has invested into their public transportation, and I hope America decides to do this one day. We took the train from Amsterdam to a small Dutch city called Leiden. It had a similar feel with the canals and bikes, but it was cool to experience a less touristy area. Everyone was speaking Dutch, so I had a few awkward moments, but the locals were very nice and helped me out. Leiden is located close to the North Sea, so we took a day trip to the beach. And from here, things got a bit crazy. I recently read this book called How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. Super good book, definitely recommend it. And it's a book about psychedelics. I'd always kind of been interested in them, but I think he gave me a lot of good information for me to be interested in actually trying it. And then we ended up in Amsterdam, where they have like a mushroom culture, and they have like actual shops, measured amounts, everything like that. We're gonna try it today. Psilocybin mushrooms. This one is apparently not gonna make me trip. It's gonna make me just see some things, feel some things, think some things. So we'll see how it goes. We got this beautiful beach out here too today. Perfect spot. Let's do it. Here's what we got. It's pretty gross. Got to get all these down. Ugh.
Okay, I think it's working, guys. I feel so light, and I can't stop laughing. There's nothing funny. I don't know what's funny, but it's just so silly now. But I just did like 5 minutes of meditation, and then I was like in a Venus flytrap, and I was like, oh yeah, it's starting, so we could go. Check this out. Sheep. A dog's in the water. What's he doing? Look at the faceless people.
What does this say about society?
I feel like the dogs, I see these dogs jumping in the water and I just want to jump in there.
Oh yeah, I like that. It's like a little bunch of little rocks.
Oh, I don't want to look too crazy. It feels good on my feet though. It's like I'm gonna take my shoes off. It's the ocean. Oh, feels so good. Check it out. It's the North Sea. It's not a picture, it's a video, but it's okay. I mean, you guys can't really hear the music, but this is good. I mean, it already was good, but it's making me want to dance. I don't usually like to dance. I don't want to dance on camera though. Turn it off. Feels so fast. I'm gonna blur this feed out, but it feels so good. It feels great. It's a pink. I like the colors though. I'm not gonna touch it. It's over now. The last 30 minutes of it, I kind of just went and meditated down here. I got pretty into it, and then at the end I like revisited a time when I was 10 years old in Maine with my family, and I started crying. I haven't cried in like years, so that was just like weird. Then it was over. That was the very end. It was like a climax. I feel like a weight lifted low key, and it was just weird. It was like maybe good to cry. I haven't cried in a long time, but yeah, did it. So it's over. Right, new day, new country. Belgium. We're in Brussels right now. Brussels, pretty cool. All these houses have like a real grand feel to them. I like the architecture. Europe in the summer is a pretty interesting vibe because the sun doesn't set till like 10 p.m. So people are just outside. I mean, it's Friday right now, but you can stay outside way later at night. It's like 70 degrees, sunny, 10 p.m. It's pretty fire. Might have to start doing European summers, low key. There's a bunch of modern buildings on this street, and like in contrast to some of the like older buildings, it looks pretty cool. I haven't seen much modern architecture in Europe so far, at least not in the Netherlands. But this is like the EU headquarters type thing over here, so they're building a lot of new stuff. New city in Belgium. We're in Bruges.
Entering Bruges made it feel like I had traveled back in time. The medieval style buildings are unlike anything I've ever seen. We took a boat tour along the canals to get the best views, and it is such a beautiful city. Architecture was a big highlight on this whole trip, but Bruges may have been my favorite style overall. It's very cool that this city has been so well preserved.
There's a nice book market along the canal. Of course, I had to get a fine. €5 for that one. Solid pickup.
The food so far hasn't been that interesting, but this is the Flemish fish pan.
We got scallops, shrimp, mussels, and a white fish in the middle. And a piece of salmon that I didn't see. It was so good. Someone get me a clean plate award. Crazy thrift store find in Bruges. I never thought I'd be able to own a Ronaldinho jersey because these are literally so rare, especially for Barca. Only €35, great condition. I could easily resell. I won't resell though. I want it. We're leaving Bruges now, but if you're in Europe and you're looking for a day trip, it's a good spot to check out. All right, I've made it to France. I'm in Amiens now.
We stopped in Amiens to catch a stage of the Tour de France, which is the biggest bike race in the world. They bike for 21 days all across France. It starts with 184 riders and 23 teams, and ends with one individual winner. It is actually ridiculous how in shape these guys are. They biked a total of 2,000 miles. That's like 100 miles a day for 21 days. I recently biked 333 miles over 5 days, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. These guys make it look easy. The final stop on the trip was Paris. I had seen so many images of this city before, to the point that it felt like I had already been here. And the city is very beautiful and picturesque, so I understand why it's so popular. But its popularity is also the worst part about it. Paris was significantly different than all the other stops on this trip, because it was just overflowing with tourists. Now, of course, I also contributed to the tourism, as you can see me here being an annoying American trying escargot for the first time. But Paris brought down the vibes of this trip for me. This next part of the vlog takes on a more sarcastic tone.
Made it to Paris. Had to rep the Ronaldinho in Paris. Get my swag up. It's happy hour in Paris. Everyone's drinking. Virgin pina colada. I don't think it's been night at all in this vlog. But we finally made it. The sunset's so late. Had to get the Paris night vibes though. It's popping out here. It's 10:30 on a Tuesday. Ever heard of this one? I think they're calling it the Louvre. I'm not actually going today though. What was the name of that kid they put in the balloon? Daniel? David? Anyone remember that? That was pretty cool. It's been said you can swim in this now. Would you do it? I wouldn't. This one's called the Notre Dame. Yeah, apparently the cathedral of all cathedrals. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm repping the home team. Go Jesus! I bought this Red Bull today and I bought one yesterday. You gotta keep the energy levels up. They're doing like market price for Red Bulls. This was the cheapest kind and the price changed between days. I thought they were doing socialism over here. Market price for Red Bull? I've never seen the price of Red Bull change in America. It says world's largest vintage store. Let's see if I can find anything inside. I did end up with a find at the vintage store. Vintage jacket. I like the retro colors. I wear a lot of colors. Going to a art museum now. It is not the Louvre. Apparently you have to reserve tickets for the Louvre. And I forgot to do it. So this part is an old train station. I really like how the natural light is like shining down. Hitting that morning stretch. Feels so good. He's geeking about whatever he told me. Impressionism is definitely an interesting like subgenre of art. I'm not really into it, but like definitely the Monet ones stand out. It's like dreamy compared to just the regular like Impressionism. But the rest of them are just like, I don't know. It doesn't really stand out to me. This one's kind of cool actually. One part I do appreciate about Impressionism is the color theory and how those colors really pop. It's almost the starry night. It's just night. Oh snap. In the Louis bucket, this hallway is just museum posters. But it's actually an important part. You gotta advertise the museum, make it look cool. I'm working on a video talking about should we separate the art from the artist. One thing I'm noticing today is like I like an artist with a distinct style where you can look at it and you know it's them, but you're not necessarily like drawn to it just because it's them. I don't know. I'm gonna explore that more though before I do the video. Not sure about the art in this museum, just maybe not my style, but I'm definitely feeling the architecture. 5 out of 10. French art, kind of boring. They're calling this one the Eiffel Tower. Okay, it's pretty big. 1 million people taking the same photo every day. What does this say about society? What if they put a metro stop in the library? One last library review to end the video. We got the Bibliothèque nationale de France.
I had to try to finish this vlog on a high note, and this is definitely a beautiful library. The use of curves and natural light make this a very unique space, and the courtyard was a nice spot to read during the summer. This library reminds me of the New York City Public Library, a very grand building that houses lots of written artifacts, but only has like one big room that guests can sit in, and the rest is blocked off from the public. As I mentioned during the Amsterdam library review, I tend to prefer libraries with lots of functional space, but there's also a place for this kind of library. As the main national library for all of France, it plays its role by storing millions of French books.
Final thoughts on the Bibliothèque nationale de France. B tier. Looked good, it was cool to sit in, was quiet, but there's not that many functional spaces. I'm a functional space library guy. I like to sit down and do my work. Didn't feel like I could really do that there. I could probably read, but that was about it. Alright, it's time to wrap up this vlog. It's gonna be kind of pessimistic final thoughts, but whatever, that's me. I mean, it was cool to go on this trip for sure. Obviously, I got to see a lot of new things in the world and experiencing things that I had just never seen, get outside the country. But I don't think the tourism thing's really for me. Like, I got pretty bored of that. I do like traveling, but if I do travel consistently again, I need to have more of a purpose with what I'm doing. Like, being just a tourist and walking around these places, I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me, and I need more of like an aim in life. And I knew that going into this trip, and it was good to take a break from like work and stuff and just relax. But it just made the problem even more clear, as which I need a purpose. I need something else to do with my life. So yeah, I'm still searching for the answer to what that might be, but still a good trip, and I enjoyed it. Hopefully the vlog was interesting. That was the Europe trip. I probably won't be back for a while.